Namaste, Masters. Good evening. This is Gautami. Welcome to PSSM New Zealand YouTube channel. Today we have great master with us, Dr. Kajal Tehri. Dr. Kajal Tehri is an assistant professor with the Satyavati College from Delhi University. She is also a meditation trainer and life coach leading workshops across the country. She healed herself fully from a range of physical elements, and she now enthusiastically sharing the wisdom of ages and sages with the world. As the world is groping around in darkness in the present times with COVID-induced fears, Dr. Kajal, through her workshops, spreads the need to live righteous and fearless lives. Having shifted to vegetarianism, Dr. Kajal spreads the message of meditation and vegetarianism among one and all. Wow. Thank you so much, herself madam. Fully from a range of physical. Welcome to PSSM New Zealand, madam.
Thank you so much, Gautami.
Yes, please. Platform is.
Do we begin with the meditation?
You're comfortable, madam. You can start meditation or else directly you can give the session.
Okay. So I think we can begin with the session only then?
Because, yes.
Yeah? Okay, dear friends. So I am so grateful to have been invited to this platform. And thank you, Gautami, for that very, very generous introduction. So friends, I would begin by talking a little bit about my meditation journey. But before that, I would like to wish a happy Gandhi Jayanti to all of us present here. The great master was born on this day, and what an inspiring life he led, and what a towering presence in world history, in Indian history. So I'm so glad, I'm so humbled that I have been invited on this particular occasion to deliver a talk on Mahatma Gandhi's central message. And the central message, friends, that Mahatma Gandhi delivered, that we all know, was that of ahimsa. Ahimsa, which is non-violence, and non-violence in all forms, not simply towards fellow human beings, but also towards members of the animal kingdom. Therefore, Mahatma Gandhi who was a staunch vegetarian. He promoted vegetarianism. Now, vegetarianism, what do we understand by vegetarianism? By vegetarianism, we understand that we refrain from killing animals for our food. And why should that be so? When we can consume plants, why can we not consume animals? To understand this, friends, we have to recognize a basic evolutionary path that all life forms go through. So all life forms go through an evolutionary cycle as they proceed from the mineral kingdom to the plant kingdom, to the animal kingdom, to the human kingdom. So this is an evolutionary path that we all have to take. So therefore, what is the difference between members of animal kingdom and members of mineral kingdom? One may be tempted to ask. The difference, friends, is in the degree of consciousness. That is to say, how much you are aware of, how much you're conscious, and that degree of consciousness increases as we move from one kingdom to another kingdom. So, mineral kingdom, some degree of consciousness. Plants, a greater degree of consciousness. In that, plants are aware. They are aware of sunlight. They are aware which way to bend. When the sun rises, they're aware which way to bend. So therefore, this consciousness further increases as we move from the animal kingdom, from the plant kingdom to the animal kingdom. So animals become gregarious. They start loving their children. They start living in communities. Some animals also develop altruistic behavior. What is altruistic behavior, friends? Altruistic behavior is sacrificing oneself for the herd. So a deer, for example, exhibit altruistic behavior. And they're willing to say, one deer is willing to sacrifice its life to save the lives of others when confronted with a carnivorous animal such as a lion or a tiger. So as we see that the degree of consciousness is raising, and we become more conscious of consciousness. We all have consciousness, but how much we are conscious of it, that is what makes the entire difference. So we, in following this evolutionary trajectory, we are moving to greater degrees of consciousness. And what happens is that when you consume an animal, and when you consume whatever you consume, you are not simply consuming the flesh, you are also consuming the whole memory system. You're consuming the emotions. You're not simply consuming flesh. Therefore, the emotions, now what is a prime emotion that would surface in you if you were to be killed for food? What is the primary emotion you think would surface in your mind, in your heart? Emotions of fear, emotion of panic would be so strong in your system. And where would these emotions go? Friends, we all know Einstein's great equation. We all know the law of quantum physics, that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. So emotions, what are emotions? Emotions, energy in motion. So this energy in motion, it is coming into our body, and we are inflected, our lives are inflected with the negative emotions of fear, of anger, of loss of life, of loss of loved ones, because an animal also has emotions towards its children. An animal has emotions, has family like emotions. We are therefore ending the animal's existence prematurely. Every being on this earth planet, comes with a certain soul path, with a certain soul plan. And in killing the animal, what are we doing? We are cutting its life short. It is not able to fulfill its sole purpose. So, friends, do you think we as human beings would have a right to live our own sole purpose when we are not allowing our animal brothers and sisters to fulfill their sole purpose? Then the law of karma should say that even you should not be allowed to fulfill your sole purpose. Why? No, karma is not punishment, friends. Karma is just a balance of energies. So that when you are doing wrong to somebody, wrong would come upon you. When you're doing good to somebody, good would come upon you. It is as simple as that. Law of karma is so extremely simple. So we have no right to cut short an animal's life. And we have no right to consume that animal for fulfillment of hunger, for fulfillment of our taste buds. In many families, we see that non-vegetarianism is promoted right from the childhood. It is impressed upon the child's mind that the child would go weak in the body if it doesn't consume non-veg food. Science, however, proves to the contrary. There are n number of findings which say that you do not have to consume non-veg food for your protein requirement. Your legumes, your sprouts, your pulses, and several other food items fulfill your protein requirement just as easily. So our excuses for consuming non-veg food are rather flimsy. It would not be wrong to say that we have become a slave to our taste buds. We have succumbed to our taste buds, that we want to eat a certain kind of food, we want to eat a certain kind of food, even though it comes at the cost of compassion. Friends, compassion is the highest, one of the highest qualities, one of the highest virtues that we as human beings can inculcate in ourselves. And what really happens, why is it that we should not consume non-veg food? For the simple reason, friends, Let's look at it biologically. If we look at it biologically, then we find out that the length, the length of your alimentary canal from your mouth to the exit of the undigested food. So the length of the alimentary canal and the type of teeth that we have, they are more suited for vegetarian diet and not for non-vegetarian food. Look at your own teeth. Look at your own chewing processes. Your chewing comprises of not simply cutting and tearing food. If you look at lions, if you look at other carnivorous animals, their teeth are very, very sharp because the main purpose of the teeth is to cut, is to tear flesh. But if you look at your own teeth and if you look at your own chewing modalities, your teeth are for cutting and grinding both. So you cut, you take a bite and you cut, and then you keep on grinding. We are told to chew our food 30 to 40 times before you take it inside, before you take it in, before you drive it in your stomach. We are supposed to chew it 30 to 40 times. And why is that so? Because the process of digestion begins not in the stomach as we might wrongly assume it to. It begins rather in the mouth itself. In the mouth, the food is digested. 30 to 40% of the food is digested inside the mouth itself. There are salivary juices which start the process of digestion in the mouth itself. And therefore, your stomach receives food that is semi-digested already. That is not the case with our carnivorous brothers and sisters who can, that some of the food can land directly, almost directly in their stomach, and they can chew it pretty well. Besides, if we look at the science of digestion, how long does it take for carnivorous food to digest? In your system, carnivorous food, when you take non-vegetarian food, it would keep lying, it would keep digesting for something like 60 to 70 hours. That kind of time span, this food keeps on sitting in your stomach, rotting in your stomach. And it depletes our energies rather than making us energetic. It depletes our energies. Therefore, these are some very interesting findings that food scientists have come up with, spiritual scientists have come up with. So why should we, then engage in killing of our animal brothers and sisters? Besides, we were all animals once. If we look at the evolutionary chain, as I've already just spoken about, we have progressed through the mineral kingdom, through the plant kingdom, through the animal kingdom, and now we belong to the human kingdom. So if you are eating an animal, you are eating your own self, one step farther than you, and you're consuming your own self. Is that justified? It is almost as good as practicing cannibalism. You are eating your own brothers and sisters. You're eating as if you're eating your own self. And we must put an end to this cannibalism. We must think from the perspective of the animal who is facing the threat of death, who is, if you have ever had the misfortune of visiting a slaughterhouse, then you would know the cruel circumstances, the unhygienic circumstances in which the animals are housed. They are simply put there as commodities to be cut open, to be eaten. And their emotions are not taken into consideration at all. Imagine that you were that animal. Imagine that you were separated from your family. You were separated from your children. And you have been put in a claustrophobic cage. A cage fitted for one or two. And It has been stuffed with some 20 to 30 animals like you. Imagine how claustrophobic would that feel? And you all know, you are an animal, but you can read vibrations. You don't understand human language, but you can read their vibrations. And you know that you are headed to slaughterhouse, that you would be killed. And you are thinking about your babies. You're thinking about your loved ones. You know, that anger and that fear is a prime emotion that courses through your blood. And that would then become the blood of the human being. Friends, it is very interesting that this animal would become your body. And would you like this pain, this suffering, this anger to become your body? It is not simply, you're not simply eating it and digesting it and then it exits your system. It doesn't work like that. It becomes you. The food that you have, your body is made of trillions of cells. So those cells are coming into being by the food that you eat, by the thoughts that you have. And what kind of thoughts are we having once? And what kind of structure are these cells having when we consume them? So, if we look at from a biological point of view, purely biological point of view, then consuming non-veg food is as good as cannibalism or as bad as cannibalism. And therefore, it really is a matter of shifting your lifestyle choices in the light of intelligence. We all have a light of intelligence in our bodies, in our beings. And, once we direct that beam of that light of intelligence, we would naturally develop compassion. Patri sir often says that knowledge is liberating. When you didn't have the knowledge, then perhaps you could not be held guilty of consuming non-vegetarian food. But now, when you know that we must practice compassion, because this is compassion not towards others, it is compassion towards the self, towards our own self, that we're being compassionate. And therefore, eating vegetarian food is simply a matter of some lifestyle choices, correcting our previous erroneous choices in the light of intelligence that we all are endowed with. We all can think. We all have our thinking caps on. We all can reason. We can read. We can learn from the examples of masters. Therefore, let us drop our flimsy pretexts of consuming non-veg food. It is simply a matter of making the right choices. At this juncture, I'm reminded of a story from Mahatma Gandhi's own life, in which, you will get to know the impact of non-vegetarian food on you, and not only the impact of non-vegetarian food, but the one who prepares food. And so what happened? Well, it so happened that Mahatma Gandhi was housed in a jail. And there was a particular cook who would cook the food for the inmates, particularly for Gandhiji. And then so once the Mahatma Gandhi had the food, the regular food that he would have, he was a very simple man, we know that. He was a very basic man. So the standard fare that he would have was chapati and potato curry. And so one day, the same vegetable and chapati was prepared for him. But the moment Mahatma Gandhi had it, he vomited, he puked. And we all know that he was a great master. So he reflected on the fact that why did he puke? He had the same food that he was having almost every other day. So why did he have that? Why did his system would not take in that food? And then when he investigated, he found out that the cook who would cook for him every day, he was on leave that particular day. And the other cook who had been, given the task of cooking that day was a non-vegetarian fellow. And Mahatma Gandhi lived such a pious life that this shift in vibration of food was incompatible to his body. It was incompatible with his being. So Mahatma Gandhi's body did not accept the food which was cooked by a non-vegetarian. See, friends, these things are so subtle. Now, what happens is, friends, what really now we have looked at it from the perspective of the kingdoms. We have looked at it from the perspective of biology. Now, let us look at it from a spiritual, scientific perspective. Now, we all know that we are not simply the physical body. We are a conglomerate. We are an assortment of 7 bodies, and each body being more subtle than the other. You know, the degree of their being subtle and the degree of their being finer, it increases as we move from one body to another. So, what do you think would be the impact of the food that we are having on these subtle bodies? The food that we are having, you know, we need to be more sensitive in our senses have gotten dulled, so we cannot see as much. What portion of the spectrum do you think we are seeing? We're seeing a very, very tiny portion of the spectrum. We are hearing very little. We are seeing very little. And therefore, when we come to know about people who are clairvoyants, who can see into other realms, who are clairaudient, they can hear what is being spoken of in the other realms. We look at them in awe, as though they're performing some kind of magic trick. We forget that clairvoyance, clairaudience, and all these psychic abilities are our own legacy. This legacy which we have lost, because I think what can be worse, because we have sinned. We have sinned against our own animal brothers and sisters. We became grosser and grosser, more gross. Your bodies, instead of refining further, instead of becoming more refined, they become very, very gross. They become so gross that you fail to get the impressions. You fail to hear things. You fail to see things. So we ourselves somewhere are responsible for limiting the spectrum that we can see into, that we can tune into, that we can hear into. Therefore, dear friends, I would urge that we all should take up vegetarian food, and not only take up vegetarian food, but we should also spread this message loud and clear. I understand that there are people in our lives, in our professional settings, who are more predisposed towards non-vegetarian food, and no amount of reasoning would be able to convince them. I myself have failed on certain counts to tell my non-vegetarian friends that, look, non-vegetarianism hurts. And they have their own slew of excuses. They have their own slew of reasons against vegetarianism, against veganism. So friends, I learned the hard way. I learned that we have no right to interfere with other people's lives. What we can do is we can inform, and that's it. We cannot force anybody to do anything. We cannot force anybody to shift their dietary choices. We cannot force anybody to sit in meditation. What we can do is we can inform. What we can also do is that we can perpetuate a culture of meditation, a culture of vegetarianism. These are cultures that we pick up. Increasing and in ever increasing number of people are taking to meditation these days. And meditation has almost spread like wildfire in COVID times. It has become the buzzword, from being the territory of sannyasis and yogis and renunciates, ascetics. It has entered the lives. It has entered the lives of common man, common professional, a common doctor, a common engineer. So therefore, similarly, we can create awareness among our friends in whatever way possible. And then, Also, we must also remember that spreading vegetarianism on the planet is the highest task that one can really engage in at the moment. Teaching meditation, spreading vegetarianism, these are the most premium spiritual assignments right now, if I could say that. So, friends, you know, we should have compassion for our animals, brothers and sisters, and we should also understand that this non-vegetarian food is not doing any good to our body. Whatever certain theories of science may say, we all our bodies are becoming grosser and grosser, and we are losing the most finer aspects of our being. And we must learn from Gandhi's life. We must learn from Patriji's message of vegetarianism as we spread vegetarianism to the world. Friends, Mahavir also had said something very beautiful. He said that the animal that you're having, it was once you. So not simply out of compassion, but because you don't want to engage in cannibalism, and you don't want to stop any creatures, any life forms, life cycle. You don't want to interfere with their life cycle. When we end anybody's life forcefully in an unnatural manner, we end that person's chosen soul path. And then that person or that animal has to come again to learn the very same lessons. That is cruelty. To stop anybody's progress short is absolute cruelty. And friends, the last point that I would like to raise today is that we should definitely read the book by William Tuttle. Dr. Tuttle talks in several of his talks, which are freely available on the YouTube. Dr. Tuttle says that what we are doing to the animal kingdom is happening within our own families. He says compassion begins in our kitchens. And what a lovely thought that is. He says, that it is said that when you eat an apple, that apple becomes you. So the apple, which was an object, that becomes a subject, that becomes you. So the non-vegetarian food that you're having, it is also becoming you. So having food is that practice where you get to understand oneness firsthand. You come to understand that we are all one, and that you become each other. And you become each other not simply by the process of eating, by the process of consuming. You become each other also when you share your wisdom, when you share your knowledge. So let us become one with each other in that spirit, and not in a spirit of consuming each other. So as I was telling you, that Dr. William Tuttle's work says that we become what we consume. In Hindi, there's a very popular saying which says "Jaisa ann vaisa man." What you eat, you become. So Dr. William Tuttle says that what we are doing to the animal kingdom, the kind of cruelty that we are perpetrating on the animal kingdom, the same is happening to us. This is the great law of karma, that whatever cruelty we are perpetrating on them, we ourselves become victims of that cruelty by others. So we are separating animals from their families, and we ourselves are suffering from broken homes where our children don't want to live with us. We are injecting, hormones and steroids into animals so that they grow faster. In turn, our children are hitting puberty ever faster. Earlier, children would hit puberty at 13, 14. Today, girls as old as age 9, 10 years are hitting puberty. So whatever cruelty we were perpetrating on animals, we are actually perpetrating on ourselves. And it's high time we wake up to the oneness of all life forms. If we want there to be peace in the world, the peace begins in our kitchens. And our kitchens we change our kitchens with our thoughts, with our awareness. So friends, today on Mahatma Gandhi's birthday, let's all take a pledge that we would live up to Mahatma's central message, and we will create will not have cruel kitchens. We'll have kind kitchens. We'll have compassionate kitchens. Thank you so much, dear friends, for your patient hearing. Over to you, Vadavi. I am not able to hear you.
Wow, great knowledge, madam.
Thank you.
Wonderful information about the vegetarianism, how it will impact our lives. It is a day-to-day activity, food, what we are
Yes.
eating. It's very
Yes.
important. So, can you please guide meditation for people who joined, who are watching in YouTube? They will come to know how to do Anapanasati meditation. Can you
Yes,
please,
sure. Yes, yes.
please?
So, friends, meditation is very simple. And Anapanasati meditation is the most direct and most effective method of meditation in the current times. You see, every time has an energetic signature. And according to the energetic signature, masters also help us because they can read those energetic signatures. They tell us what method would be best suited at a particular age and time. So for this age and time, the simplest method, Anapanasati meditation. Friends, the process for Anapanasati meditation is very, very simple. Now we have to create a closed energy circuit. Let us understand the logic. In meditation, we receive a lot of cosmic energy and we create a closed energy circuit. How do we do that? Energy is constantly going out through our eyes. 80% energy goes out through our eyes. 10% goes out through our open hands. And 10% goes out through our open feet. So what we do is we close these three outlets. So we close our eyes, we cross our hands, and we cross our legs. We sit in a cross-legged posture. And then we just be with our normal, natural breath. Gautami, should we have a meditation for 10 minutes? Gautami, can we have a guided meditation for 10 minutes? So friends,
I will play music now.
You don't need to, I'll just guide.
Yeah, please.
So friends, please cross your hands, close your eyes, cross your legs. And if you are wearing spectacles, please take them off. And just follow the rhythm of your normal, natural breath. Beautiful breath. Simple breath. No thoughts in the mind. Let's put aside all our worries. Take a deep breath in. Hold for some time. Release. We are releasing all the tensions, all the worries that we had been holding in our bodies. Be with your breath. Be with your breath. Normal, natural breath. Just be with your breath. We are receiving lots of cosmic energy. When we sit in meditation, the portal opens for us to receive abundance of cosmic energy. Just be with your breath. Allow this healing energy to enter your body from your Brahmarandra, your crown chakra. Be with your breath. No thoughts in the mind, just the breath. Simple, normal, beautiful breath. The breath of our being, the mysterious breath whose secrets we have just begun to learn. Be with the breath. No thoughts whatsoever. Normal, natural breath. No mantras, no gods, no gurus, just the breath. In meditation, the breath is the guru. Let us become one with this breath of life within us. As and when we engage in meditation, a lot of clearance happens at the level of all the bodies, not simply the physical body, but even the subtle bodies are purified. We have been choking our subtle bodies over many lifetimes by consuming non-veg food, by thinking negative emotions and dwelling on them. Now, let us all make a resolve to not eat by death, to not eat by killing, but by being compassionate. Mother Earth is crying for her children. We are not her only children. She is the mother of all the plants, all the animals, all the fish and fowl, all the microorganisms, all the human beings. And her heart would cry when her children would kill other children for sport, for play, for food, for leather, for horns, for fur. We have perpetrated enough cruelty on the animal beings. We have left enough carbon footprints on the planet. We have brought down Earth's vibrational frequency big time. Now it's time to restore Earth to her former glory, to the beautiful planet that she once was, our own mother, our beloved mother, our Gaia. Let us become one with her. Let us become one with all the creatures on the planet. Let there be joy. Let there be laughter. Let there be hope. Let there be harmony. Let peace prevail. Amen. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayam. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Let peace and love and harmony prevail. And now, slowly, slowly, come back to your body consciousness. Keeping your eyes closed, feel your fingers, move your fingers and your feet. And now, place both your hands on your closed eyes for 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly, slowly bring your hands down, open your eyes, and with a beautiful smile, we say thank you to all the masters who have joined us on this platform and on YouTube. Thank you so much, dear friends. Thank you so much, PMC New Zealand, for inviting me over. And I'm not audible. You're not audible, Gatali?
Thank you so much for coming, madam. Last moment decision, and you immediately accepted, and you came and you share wonderful knowledge about vegetarianism. PSSM motto is vegetarianism. First principle before meditation, Patriji always says everyone must become a vegetarian. So for Ganji Jayanti, you took that topic and you explained very clearly how it will impact our mind, our health, our body. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your wisdom once again. Thank you,
Thank
madam.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, madam.
Bye-bye.